So, welcome back, everybody, to the Multiverse of Geekdom. I am Don, Jedi Master Tuck, and with me is Dave, as always. Dave, how we doing today, sir? You ready to talk about the Exodus episodes? You're muted. Yep.
It had to be someone. It had to be something to talk about
Absolutely.
at this point. But I am so excited to talk about Exodus. Not
Yes.
only is this, I think, one of the. It's hard to call it an episode, but it's hard not to call it an episode because I've never not watched all three parts back to back to back, except for this time
Okay.
because we're only talking about part one, Exodus part one today, right?
I I watched all three.
Oh, I'll be right back. No, I'm excited. Like I said,
Yeah.
this is every time I watch it, I'm like, you know what? I'll just watch Exodus Part 1, and then I'll watch Exodus 2 and 3 tomorrow, or I'll watch 1, then I'll watch 2 tomorrow, then I'll watch 3 the next day. I've never been able to not say, all right, I guess this is 3 hours of my life.
It really is, as a whole story. It's a really good story, or ending to the season, I should say.
Yeah, this is Lost the movie is just so great. I think this is one of the full ensemble really comes together in this series of episodes. Everyone gets a moment to shine. Some people not as big. Claire's just yelling about her baby. Save my baby. Save Aaron.
She does. Yes, she
And I get
does.
it. But really, but everyone else I think gets an amazing moment to shine. And Danielle Rousseau shows up, which I always love when she shows up.
Yeah, this one with Danielle is a pretty interesting arc overall.
Yeah,
Um, Go ahead.
we'll talk about it because I don't know what her plan was. Like, we'll talk about when we get into that.
I think she pulled her plan off. I just think it was very clunky. I mean, it was very yeah. I don't see how they let her get away with it. That's what I would say.
Yeah, it's crazy. Before we really get into it, though, I just had a
Sure.
question for you. So
Okay.
Exodus,
Yeah.
for me, and I know, and for most people,
Yeah.
when they talk about season finales, because that's also something we have to celebrate. I haven't been here the whole time, but we've 1/6 of Lost. That's it. Some would argue the best of Lost is now behind us. I wouldn't say that.
I don't think no. I don't think that's fair. No.
No, but a lot of people would. But a lot of people, when they talk about Lost, talk about the best season finale is either this or it is the two-part Through the Looking Glass season 3 with Charlie's death, spoilers,
Oh,
and the
yeah.
whole, it's not a flashback, it's a flash forward of it all. Where do you come down on this, and like, just how do you feel about Exodus as a whole?
Yeah, I gotta be honest. I actually really enjoyed the way this season ends because I think we got a lot of, well, I don't want to say answers, but I think we got a lot of information that we needed going into season two, and I think it's not enough of I don't know how to say it. It's not enough of a cliffhanger where you're like, oh my god, I can't believe this is where they ended it. It's more like, oh my god, I cannot wait till season two because I want to know what the hell now is going on.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Where I think some shows leave too many questions unanswered. Do you know what I mean? Where this show, I
Yeah,
think, even though there's a lot unanswered, we the others, things like that. But as far as what I think we needed to know, we got the answers for the most part.
and I think this episode asks a lot more questions
Oh, sure,
so that we're looking forward to season 2,
sure.
and also changes the way we think about some questions. We'll get into it
Yeah,
later, but like, this is the first time we see the monster,
yeah,
and that's crazy.
yeah.
This is the first time out since Ethan. This is the first time we see the others.
Yes,
Like,
yes.
I know the first time I watched this, I assumed everyone on the raft was dead.
Oh yeah, for sure. Oh,
I
definitely.
I had the luxury of just saying, next episode, I'd be like, okay, and I'm sorry, they don't even give that to us next episode. It's not till episode 2, but it's still like, what a fantastic episode. I have a few quibbles with it, as I do with every Lost episode, but I'm so excited to talk about it.
There's only one real part in here that really just still watching it again, even knowing what's going to happen. It's just the way it's delivered is so creepy when he's like, "Yeah, but we're gonna have to take the boy." Like just the way he just goes so matter of fact. Like, yeah, but we're taking the boy. Like, that's all great, but
I
you're
will
not
have
being saved.
I will have no disrespect on MC Gainey's name. Tom Friendly is an icon. What
Oh, he's
an
a great character.
amazing character.
Oh, of course. But again, it's just so weird because you're just like, wait a minute, why is he so like? And that because you don't really know who they are at that moment.
Yeah.
So you're just like, wait a minute, why are they just randomly kidnapping the boy? Like, why aren't they helping them at all? It's a funny moment. It's just,
Yeah. Well, if we're just getting our quibbles out, and this won't be something that we spend a lot of time on. My only real issue with the episode is it's one scene in particular in part 2, I think, where out of nowhere they're in the middle of the ocean and they hit a piece of driftwood. Now we have to have a whole 5-minute scene where Sawyer swims out to save the rudder, and it's like, but why?
right.
This not like Michael could have seen the gun any other way. And like it ends up not being that big a deal that I guess it does end up being a pretty big deal that he has a gun. But like it's tension for tension's sake. With that
Yeah,
scene.
it's kind of shoehorned in for sure. Yeah.
Because it's like they are literally in the middle of the ocean. Where did this wood going against the current come from?
Yeah. It is random and weird.
In another universe, I like to think that just a little bit farther is like Juliet and Colleen and stuff are like throwing wood off a barge, being like, one of these will hit him. We'll get him.
That's funny.
Maybe Carl's
driving
there.
the boat? Is Ben driving that one?
Oh, Ben wouldn't degrade himself that
That's
well.
true. That's true.
What's Colleen's wife's name? Danny Pickett. Danny Pickett. The one of the worst characters. Oh, you know what? No. What's his ass from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia? Rob McElhenney. That's who's driving the boat.
Oh, that's right. Is he's in this?
Not in this episode, but
he's in the law. I don't remember that.
He's in
Wait a minute, I don't remember that.
He's in season 3. He's guarding Carl at room 13. Kate threatens to shoot him in the kneecap. And then Claire kills him in season 6. Because in between seasons, he was like, I'm a huge fan of Lost. I'd love to be a part of this. And they were like, you want to come be on Lost? And he was like, I'd love to be on Lost, yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So you know what? Rob McElhenney, he's driving the boat. I'm glad we got to the bottom of this fictional.
It's a mystery. It's a mystery.
This mystery that we created. I'm really glad that Lost is still promoting mysteries 20 years later.
But it's just one random piece of driftwood. So they got really lucky with that one.
Oh, no. Again, Juliet and Colleen, like, they're driving the boat. Like, every 15 feet, they're throwing a piece of driftwood.
I gotcha.
And then they're like, they got binoculars and like, oh, shit.
Tom,
they got the rudder back. All right.
They're playing Battleship out there with driftwood. It was a miss.
Miss.
Oh shoot, that's great. That's just how they pass time on as the others on the island. That's just how it is.
And that's my last complaint about Excess. I will say other things are stupid and other things don't make sense, but all of that comes from a place of love.
Arst. I still don't know how he blows up. I still don't understand what happened.
It's because he gesticulates like a teacher would with a piece of chalk, and it excites the sweating nitroglycerin.
Okay.
He's like,
To me, it just felt like he didn't really do much. He didn't really do anything. So
yeah,
it
he's
was
like,
kind of.
he goes like this with the dynamite,
Oh, he does. Okay.
and then
Okay.
he's like, thank God I had a TV remote right there. It would
No,
have just
you're
been
right. I
me
forgot about that. Okay, I
jumping
missed.
rope. And it's just like he's doing the thing that he would be doing, be like, and do you know what happens when? It's like he just gave this whole speech about like you have to be
Oh,
very careful.
well, I thought once it was in because once it was in the wet towel or the wet shirt, it felt like he thought that that was good enough. Like that was good. Then it was
Ours is a
fine.
high school science teacher,
Exactly.
okay? Like I know Breaking Bad has given us like a skewed idea of how talented high school science teachers are, but most of them are just regular
Yeah.
teachers who got assigned science class.
Hmm.
And you know, he could be lying about being a doctor. We don't know his backstory.
That's my question. Is he lying right now? Is he lying this whole time about the nitroglycerin and
Well, no,
all that stuff?
that's actually a true story that my
Okay.
high school science teacher told me
Okay.
in so I knew it. It was crazy. It was within like 2 weeks of hearing that story in class and then hearing Arst say it. I was like, this is crazy.
so
Does
so he
Mr.
really blew
Bell
himself up, and then the people that were like helping him was like, I guess it works. So we're just gonna use it.
Yeah.
Just gonna take it.
Oh my god. What a
That's the best
great
time.
I'll never get over you've got some Arst on you.
Yeah, oh, man. So yeah, it's a funny line. It is funny.
So good. That
And the
whole
whole
like
Kate and Jack dilemma with who's going to carry it, like, is that necessary? Like, okay, here's my question, and I don't know if you know the answer, but I'm just curious. Why do they let him act like he's hit her husband and he like runs her life in this whole season?
I think it's just that Jack is the leader of the group, and we see that when people in power, they get to act however they want. You'll see, like
True.
as we
True.
go through the show, both Ben, Charles Whitmore, Jack, all of them. What a murderous row of douchebags, and I love Ben and Jack. Okay.
No, I know what you mean.
Yeah. I don't. I'm not coming out here being like I think Ben Linus. You know what? Ben Linus was right. Now Ben
I
Linus.
mean, I see his point. I see his side. I see his argument.
Don't want to be on that side of history. Love him as a character. Can't get behind his politics. I'm sorry.
No.
There's a crazy double standard that happens a lot of times where Jack will do something and everyone's like, "Good job, Jack," and other people will do it and they'll be like, "Man, that wasn't cool when you did that."
Mhm.
And to be fair, in this specific moment, he does get overruled by Locke and Jack and Hurley, who just doesn't want to be there.
Yeah.
Sorry,
No,
Locke
that's
and
true.
Kate and Hurley, who just doesn't want to be
Yeah.
there. And it's only because he is a controlling douche that he's able to take the dynamite for himself.
Sure. Yeah, I don't. It just seems like they're. It feels like there must have been a point where they actually officially became like a couple, and we just never saw it. That's kind of, I don't know. It's weird how he's just so protective over her, and she just kind of lets it happen. But at the same time, she does push back, where she's like, "Yeah, no, you're not going to make decisions for me, though."
Yeah, and I actually don't think that they're. I don't think they ever.
I don't think they ever do either, right? Yeah, not that I
Well, until they
remember.
get off island.
Well, okay,
But like,
because
I think
she's always back and forth with Sawyer.
yeah. So I don't know if it's so much that he is. I think it's like what we talked about a few episodes back, where Jack's dad at his wedding says, you are addicted to commitment," and I think Jack is a serial monogamous. He's like, I have a crush on Kate, and you know what? Have they kissed at this point? No.
No, not yet. I thought they
Oh
did.
no,
At
they
one
did.
point.
They did.
I was gonna say, I thought they did this season. Yeah.
Yeah, no, they did during my favorite little fucking airplane bit. Which, oh my god.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
She went for every time.
It
Kate
came
went-
back. It
I
came
know.
back.
I can't believe
It just haunts you, man. I'm telling you. It's
I don't-
finding you.
I don't believe it comes back again. I think that
Oh no, I don't think. Yeah,
we're
no.
done with the airplane after season 1. But oh, when I saw it, I was so upset. Anyway,
Yeah, yeah.
um, but I think that Jack, I've completely lost my train of thought because of the airplane debacle.
Oh no, you're talking about
Sorry.
how
Oh,
why he's so protective over.
yeah,
Yeah,
he's addicted to commitment, and he is,
yeah.
they've kissed, and she's also proven to be a reliable team player for him, where I think he looks at someone like Saeed or Hurley as his number 2, and then probably Sun as his number 3, but then Kate's right there.
Oh,
Like,
for sure. Yeah, yeah.
Kate's right there, and he's got feelings for her, and she's got feelings for him, and I just think that's why he's protective of her.
Yeah.
I think it's creepy and maybe a
Makes
little much, but
no, it makes sense. It's just weird because she's always just like, yeah, no, I'm good. Like, I appreciate it. It's cute, but no, I'm good.
yeah, I think that a lot comes from the uh just we'll see a lot more of Kate's relationships in the next couple seasons,
Not sure.
but
Yeah,
I think
sure.
that a lot comes from just who she was before the island.
Mm-hmm.
Now
Mm-hmm.
she's still. It is interesting that we leave this season still not knowing what Kate did.
Well, right. Yeah, we don't know
Like,
what she
we know,
originally did. Yeah,
as far as we know, the worst thing she's done is rob that bank.
yeah.
Which, okay, actually, I said I wasn't going to complain anymore. But we're talking
Wow.
about Kate.
Okay.
So the scene, Kate's flashback of how she got on the plane is the marshal explaining to TSA why he needs 6 guns. And he's telling essentially the story of Tabula Rasa and not whatever the case may be, Born to Run. She's like, yeah, she robbed a bank, and then she got her boyfriend killed, and he had a wife and kids, and it was all her fault, blah 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 blah. And then she just runs at him, and he very easily puts her down. If
Yeah.
I'm the TSA agent, I'm like, sir, I don't think you do need 6 guns, actually.
Right.
I think you're totally fine.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we only see the marshal a couple more times, but every time I do, I'm just like, this guy sucks. And I hate
Yeah.
him.
Oh, he wasn't a great person. No.
Nah, he sucks.
Yeah.
But
I mean, she's still a criminal, but he doesn't. Yeah,
Oh, yes.
he should. Yeah, he shouldn't be treating her that way. I
The
agree.
fact that, and we'll get to this like in 3 seasons, but the fact that Kate gets to live like her Beverly Hills life after the island is insane. She served 0 jail time
Mm-hmm.
for the murder of her stepdad
Yep.
or the bank robbery
Or any of it. Yeah, any of it.
or Tom's death. Like, we'll get into that in season 4, but like,
That's manslaughter, right? Tom, at least that's manslaughter.
I think that's way more than. I don't know the American justice system, but I think in Canada she can just get straight tried for murder.
Wow.
Like,
Okay.
as far as like, Tom's the only person who knows that Tom got in that car willingly. So as far
That's
as
true.
they're aware, like, Kate willingly put him in harm's way.
Yeah. No, that's true. Fair enough.
Oh man. Anyway,
Yeah. No, let's move on.
Exodus.
Another great scene, which I don't want to spend too much time on, but I do think it shows who Sawyer really is and who he wants to be. Well, exterior wise, who he tries to be, I should say, or the difference between those is the him and Jack scene where he tells him about his dad
Oh my god.
and the conversation. Really love this scene. It's one of my favorite scenes from Lost, period, just because Jack's reaction and just that he doesn't think that they'll see each other ever again, or there's a chance they'll never see each other again, and he just has to tell him this story. And it's Sawyer just breaking character on the island. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think Sawyer across all 3 episodes is fantastic. But I agree. The lumberjack scene where Jack rolls up to Sawyer chopping bamboo for a new mast.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, lumberjack. Never found out what you did in the real world. Lumberjack's my guess.
Yeah, I did like that. Yeah, that's a funny.
And then
yeah.
it goes into that whole like, and Jack, like, it really shows how far these 2 characters have come. Where Jack gives Sawyer a gun, it's like, hey, just in case, with the implication of, you run out of food and water, you know, you kill these guys and kill yourself because you don't want the kid to starve to death.
Yeah.
But then the whole story and it's so great because Sawyer for a moment, and when you're watching the scene, you're like, tell him the story about Jack's dad, and he's like, they hang on him just long enough that he's like, hey Doc, and then he goes into the whole like story about Jack's dad who was going for an all-time record, and how his dad was actually proud of him, and how his all this great stuff. And Jack Bender directs this episode, and he does a lot of the premieres and finales. He's like one of their go-to guys.
Okay.
He's really great. He does this. He does the end. He does the season 5 finale. He does the season 2 finale. Does he only not do the season? Oh no, he does the season. He actually does every season finale. Now that I'm looking at my list.
Oh really? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Jack Bender, really their go-to finale guy. He's their closer. And there's something about his directing style and his choice of camera angles, where while Sawyer's telling the story, we're on Sawyer, and then at a point, it turns on Jack, who's like keeping it together, right up until Sawyer says, "This guy, Christian," and it's like, oh, and that's when Jack breaks, and it's like, what an amazing just editorial camera angle shots, directing choices, and how did like Josh Holloway, who plays Sawyer, and Matthew Fox, who did they piss off in Hollywood? Because these guys should have had like massive careers after Lost.
Yeah, I agree.
And like they really didn't, and that's so upsetting.
I completely agree because they are. First of all, they're absolutely great in this scene, but there's another part where he breaks another time, and he says oh yeah, this guy, he said he was his son was a better doctor than him too.
Oh.
And then he's like, Jack sort of like jerks away from the camera, but his face and just the way he does it, it's so perfect. I mean, again, just the performance alone, man, of them two in that scene is amazing. But Sawyer, I love Sawyer so much. I love Josh Holloway that plays him so much. The way he plays this character, it's so great.
Yeah, and I love the Sawyer. He doesn't get a lot to do in the first episode.
Yeah.
Where, excuse me, I'm getting all choked up talking about Exodus.
Oh. It's Sawyer. Jack.
But I love when they're first trying to launch the raft, and then the mast breaks and they can't do it.
Mm-hmm.
And I love that Michael immediately dismisses Sawyer, where it's like, hey, you're just gonna get in our way. You can't help. He does a great there's a great Han and Chewie thing where he says, no, that goes here, that one goes there. Just like when Chewie is fixing the Falcon.
Yep.
And I love there's a look on Sawyer's face where it's like, well, shit, they're not gonna let me help them. I'm gonna go help them anyway. And he goes and chops down the tree, and you get all these amazing little looks. He's a very good non-verbal actor, because there's also some great stuff where the goodbye that him and Kate share, where like 3 days ago they had this super emotional connection in the forest where they were playing I Never. They've been more vulnerable than anyone's ever been with each other. But literally 12 hours ago, she tried to frame him for poisoning Michael.
Right.
So it's like, hey, we're real tight, but also go fuck yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wait, can I swear on this show? I always forget.
Oh yeah, no, you're fine.
Oh, fuck yeah. No, he's so
dang,
great.
Can you fucking not fucking do that?
Oh, Jesus. Just to stick with Sawyer also, I really love his flashback at the police station. Where
oh yeah, that's funny. It's like,
really,
you're not even worth the money to incarcerate. You're deported. Just get out of our country.
I don't know much about deportation, but was Sawyer not just there like on vacation essentially. Is that what being deported is?
I don't. Yeah, I don't know.
Also, like it didn't seem like it was that big of a deal. They were just like, "Hey, go home," and he's like, "All right, I'm going home anyway."
Yeah.
It's like, "All right."
Well,
And
he just
this,
killed a guy, and they're like, "Don't ever come back." He's like, "I'm never coming back here. Don't you worry about
it
that."
is crazy that he just got away with that murder.
Yeah, he did. Oh, he definitely. Yeah.
I do also love though that he had the reason he has been brought down to the station is not because of anything else that happened that we saw. It's because off screen he got in a bar fight with the Minister of Agriculture, the
Yeah.
Warren Truss, who
Why
I
is
did.
he in a bar? That's what I want to know. Why is the Minister of Agriculture in some random
So
bar?
I did some digging to find
Okay.
out
Uh-oh.
who Warren Truss was, and you know he was an interesting character. He liked a good time. He liked going out, being a part of the public, and like being seen without a security detail or anything, so that like it would encourage voting.
Okay.
So that's probably why he was there. He was a known barfly.
Okay.
So I
Well,
think it
then
was
that's
just
fair.
like we're gonna be in Australia, and
Let's
at
use.
this point, so as I've talked about, I love using the Wayback Machine to figure out like what were people saying at this time, and
How do you Google from 20 years ago, man?
you just gotta use you
How
gotta
do you
use the
Google
Wayback
things
Machine.
from 20 years ago? It's so long ago.
It has
It's
no
ancient.
you can find using the Wayback Machine you can see what a web page looked like on this specific. Have you never heard about this before?
What?
The Wayback Machine.
Oh yeah, no, no. Dude. I'm
Oh,
just
okay,
having
you're
fun.
messing with. I was
Oh,
like, dude,
no, I was
I
messing
gotta
with you. Yeah,
stop
no,
the
no, no.
show. Like, we gotta talk about the Wayback Machine, man.
I'm
It's a
sorry. Yeah,
game
no, no. I was just
changer.
messing with you.
Um. Anyway, at this point, they had been getting a lot of crap for getting a lot of Australian specific things wrong.
Okay.
So I think the inclusion of Warren Truss was like, hey, that's an Australian, and he's currently in office. It's like, they did do their research.
That's funny. That's
I
funny.
also love that it's the same detective that was talking to Boone. It's like, you broke my coffee mug when you came by last night.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I do remember that.
It's just,
He's like cute kids. I like that line. He's like cute kids.
well, Sawyer's got a solid. We'll see this for Sawyer's entire career, his entire tenure on Lost. He's got a thing for kids. Not he doesn't
Oh,
have a
well,
thing for kids. He's got a
no, no,
soft
yeah,
spot for
yeah.
kids.
Yes. Right, right, right. No, he definitely does.
Yeah, really. I think Sawyer's really fantastic. Do you want to just stick with this? May be easier just because everyone's kind of everywhere. We just stick with like characters and like beats.
Oh yeah.
So we just like go with Sawyer and then go. Do you want to just do the raft launch now and like talk about that?
Yeah, because what happens there? I didn't catch anything, but he immediately goes after Sawyer like it's his fault. And Sawyer's like, "What are you looking at me for? Like I did it."
I think it's
It's
just
like I
like
didn't do anything.
Michael's still pissed
Oh,
about
for
being
sure.
poisoned. He's like, fuck it. And you know what? And also Sawyer. I think the unfortunate thing is, I think Michael now knows I would much rather have Kate because Sawyer is worthless. But
Well, that's yeah.
well, on the raft, like
Yes, yeah, yeah,
in the
yeah.
last episode, he was like, "Why are we taking fish if Jin can catch fish?" It's like, do you not understand how fishing works? What are you talking about?
Mhm.
Anyway,
Oh, for sure.
I think he now knows. He's like, because Kate pointed it all out to him. He's like, yeah, I don't actually want to be bringing Sawyer on this raft, but I'm stuck with him now.
Hmm.
So he's just lashing out, I think.
Makes sense. Makes sense.
Yeah. But the raft
Yeah, because
launch,
it's been less than a day since all of this has happened, right?
yeah, as Dr. Arce
Yeah.
says, you had to launch yesterday.
Yep, that's
Missed
true.
it by about 2 days, but you know.
Yeah,
Um
they're going south.
yeah, I will say the whole the whole like 7-minute sequence of the raft launching at the end,
Mhm.
once they get the new mast together, and everyone, all the extras are working together to push it out. And apparently, like, you know, Dominic Monaghan, who plays Charlie, tells a story about, like, yeah, they told us it was going to be really easy to push the raft. It was not.
There's no way. How do you make that thing? No, even if it's all foam, that's still got to be some
Yeah.
heavy. I mean, yeah.
But they were talking about, like, how difficult it actually was to push that raft out. And I love that whole sequence of just seeing everyone come together, the music,
Hmm.
the just the emotionality behind all the goodbyes that we get. Jack Bender, who, as I said, directed the episode, we get a little montage of people saying goodbye to one another. And he said
Hmm.
he said originally in the script it was just music plays, people say goodbye, and instead he said, what I want to do is I want to have the actors in character go up to the people who they think they would most want to say goodbye to. So
Okay.
that's why we get, like, Michael and Jack have been really close all season. It's not a relationship we think about a lot, but Michael and Jack, they're really tight
Yep.
because Michael's another useful guy, and
True.
that's why we get the goodbye there, and why Jin and Sun get to say their goodbye the way they get to say. And I didn't write down every single person, but why each goodbye is to who it is, and what they say is completely, like, unscripted stuff.
And my favorite is the awkward son and Michael
Yeah.
handshake, hug, whatever they do
Hmm.
there. I love that.
My favorite is Jack to Walt being like, "Look after your dad, dude." And it's like, Jack, have you never met a child?
Ever? I was to say, have you talked to a kid before? Yeah.
That's not how kids talk.
No. So
Uh,
funny.
yeah, I love that whole sequence leading to the four of them drifting off and Vincent swimming out after them, which is another thing behind the scenes that they
It's
did.
so
Like,
heartbreaking.
on the day, um, they were like, they had almost all of it done. They're like, and Jack Bender was out on location. He said, so logistically, how do we get the dog? Can we get the dog to swim after the raft? And everyone said, well, we could put the dog in the middle of the ocean and have it swim back to shore and then reverse the footage. And he said, no, no. But what if, like, as the raft is flying away, we have Vincent run after the raft like he wants to say goodbye to Walt? And
Uh,
they said, that's impossible. You ever tried to get a dog to run into the ocean? He said, but, like, what? How could we get it done? So what they did was they got the dog's, like, handler on set to hide underneath the raft, and had, like, a series of treats being like, come here, boy, come here. Like,
is that really what they did?
yeah.
Oh
So,
my
like, there's
god.
a little compartment underneath the raft where you can barely see it, but there's some stuff, like, moving around. That is the trainer shaking dog treats at Vincent.
Oh my goodness. Okay. I was
Um,
wondering because he goes out pretty far and then just turns around and just goes back, and I'm like,
yeah.
that's a
Well, that's
far
that that
swim.
that's clever editing, I think.
No, of course, but I'm
Yeah.
just saying, it's just like he's out there pretty damn
This
far.
is this is also, and this isn't something I hold against Lost. We've talked about this before. This is the episode where you can see the most boats and planes and camera people, just because of the amount of wide shots that they have to have. Um,
I never noticed. I didn't notice one.
no, there is when Michael is yelling at Sawyer to, it's like, hey, we don't need your help right now, blah 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 blah. There's, like, just a full on, like, sailboat in the background, like, not even that far away.
Oh, that's so funny.
it's
They were in
it's
Hawaii, right? Isn't that where they filmed?
Yeah, they were in Hawaii,
Okay.
and
Yeah, yeah.
they were and it was an exciting thing. People were out for a little jaunt, and then they're like, oh, what's that going on over there? Oh, it's lost. Oh, well, I gotta go away.
That's
um
great.
yeah, that, no, and I don't hold that against them. Not their fault. CGI technology was not where it is to, like,
Oh yeah, no.
And you know what? In 2020, we still got Starbucks cups in Game of Thrones, so I don't hold any of this against them.
That's true. That is very true.
It is just funny that the show about being trapped and completely isolated has this many like boats and planes in the background.
I do love the shot of the island though too that they have
Mm-hmm.
from the from pushback.
Yeah, I like it because I don't think, and you can correct me if I'm wrong. I think this is the first time that we've seen like the full profile of the island. Up until
Oh
this point,
yeah, up to this point, yeah.
we haven't seen any of that. So like we really hadn't gotten the scale of what we're looking at.
Hmm.
But also like the triumphant music that's playing as Sawyer's out there talking about, I'm going to put a Walmart right there. I just think it's really, really fantastic.
It's a yeah. It's a big island. It's a really big island.
It's so massive.
Yeah. It's a lot bigger than it seems. I don't know how to say that, but you know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah, no, I know exactly what you mean. Like, it is a big island, and there's so much on the island.
Yeah. And it doesn't look like there's as much valley land as would appear because it looks like it's just two big mountains and that's the whole island and then the beaches.
Yeah, but like, they weren't in
What are you
charge of
gonna
what
do?
the island looked like.
Nah, what are you gonna do?
Yeah.
It's just funny because they're like running for miles through through like flat land and it, like,
Uh,
I don't know.
um. Yeah. No. I really love that shot. Do we want to stick on the island, or do we want to go out to sea with our raft
Yeah,
boys?
no, we can stick on the island. I think. Yeah, no, let's stay with
Yeah.
the
Um.
the main story.
Who? The other main story is, well, one of the main. There's so much happening in these episodes. It's
Yeah,
kind of
yeah,
crazy. Um. Is Danielle Rousseau shows up to camp and I love that Walt finds her while he's going to take a leak. He's like, "Oh my god, that's the French lady,"
yeah,
and she just walks into camp like, "Hello, here I am." And Saeed has to be like, "Don't shoot her. Don't. She's a friend." But she is coming to say the others are coming to take the boy,
yeah.
to take the baby. And then everyone struggled to, all right, we got to get everyone into the hatch so that we can hide from the others. And I love that
Bad plan. Bad plan.
terrible
By the way.
plan. I love that Danielle, when she shows up, she really sets the stakes where she's like, you have three options. You can run, I can disappear into the jungle, maybe you guys can't. You can fight, you're not fighters, and they will defeat you. Or
Yeah.
you can die. It's
Yeah.
like, oh Jesus, these are, and I think it's Charlie who's like, those are terrible options.
Yeah.
I really like though her coming in to reestablish the others as this massive threat, because it's hard to believe, but Ethan was killed like 10 episodes ago.
It's been a long. Yeah, it's been a long time.
Yeah, he died way back in Homecoming, right? So like that was so long ago. Jesus
I
Christ.
think
Yeah,
there's 25 total, right? Because this is 23, 24, 25, I believe.
It's weird how they count. Sometimes Exodus is only 2 parts, but part 2 is 90 minutes long. It's weird. And also, so I decided to watch the episodes on. I have the DVDs for season 1 and 2.
Okay.
So I just was like, I'm gonna watch them on DVD. Weirdest places where they choose to cut the episodes. Like episode 2 just ends with Hurley and Kate walking through the jungle having a conversation, and then episode ends. Episode 3 picks up with them continuing the conversation. And I was like, wow, those are not 2 separate episodes, guys. That's one
Okay.
big
Yeah,
episode.
that's a weird. Yeah, that's a weird cut.
Yeah.
I
Anyway,
know what you're talking about too, because that is. Yeah.
yeah. I think on in the original airing, they aired Exodus Part 1, and then the next week they did Exodus Part 1 and Part 2 together, and that weird break, there's no break in the initial airing. It's all just
Okay.
like one movement in, but obviously for DVD and streaming releases, they have to cut things up,
Well, right. Yeah.
which is like a crazy thing to say in 2023 because like, you watch an episode of Stranger Things, it's like, that's okay, episode 8 is 2.5 hours, and we're like, you
Oh my
lying to me,
God.
that's a
Yeah.
movie.
Yeah. Exactly. Oh, I
um
remember watching that last season. Just like I just got 4 movies in a row.
I
Hell
was
is
so
happening?
upset. I was like, we don't need to talk about Stranger Things. I don't need to talk about Stranger Things, but
No,
like,
no, no.
just make TV, guy. People need to be we talk about this a lot on Have You Seen This?
Okay.
People are afraid to make TV. Just make television.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's why Mandalorian's so good because it's just
I
a
know,
TV
right?
show.
It's just a TV show.
Yep.
Anyway,
Yeah.
I love to bring it back. I love Danielle's reaction to seeing the hatch, even though she's a big old liar.
Well, she's definitely a liar. Yeah.
When she's
And
like,
she's crazy. She's
when she's
definitely
like,
crazy, right?
yeah, I've never seen anything like this. It's like, what are you talking about? You've been to the radio station and you've been to the
Mm-hmm.
staff. Like,
Mm-hmm.
what are you talking about? You've never seen anything like this.
Well, I think she just meant something sticking out of the ground like that. I guess to
I
that particular
guess.
way. But yeah, I mean, she's been to Dharma Initiative sites.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I also do really like a lot of the Danielle storylines. Do you think that she came into camp? This is actually good. We can talk about Danielle for a second.
Okay.
So obviously her plan once she arrived at camp was to take the baby.
I think so. Yeah, absolutely.
And I believe, it's not clear, but I believe, and maybe it's just because Charlie says this, that Danielle set the black smoke herself to like frighten them so that she could do whatever and then steal the baby.
I think so. I think that makes sense.
But then she also tells the story about how she heard the whispers talking about they were coming for the boy, they were coming for the child. Like,
She made that up, probably.
but she was right. They came for Walt.
Oh. That's yeah.
So where do you think how
But
much
they didn't know where Walt was though, because wouldn't they have tried to get him before he got off the island? Why would they wait till he was in the middle of the ocean to do it?
probably because the guy they sent in to do stuff got killed.
Well, yeah, no, that's true. That is true.
And then the guy
But
they sent on
he
the
was
other
supposed to bring
side.
Walt back, right? He was supposed to bring Walt back originally.
No, he was always supposed to get. He was always supposed to get. He was supposed to keep Claire. We'll find out more about this in the episode.
I know there's an answer to that. I just don't
Yeah,
remember
I think
off
in
the
the
top of my
episode-
head how it worked out.
I think in the episode Maternity Leave, we find out that's the episode where we have the flashbacks to Claire's time with Ethan. And I believe the plan was he was supposed to monitor her and then bring her back, bring the baby back once the baby was born. But he went off book when he got found out.
Okay.
So I don't think he was ever I think Walt was really a consolation prize. Or maybe they had found out that he was special and so no, because I don't know. That's
Yeah, I don't.
there.
I don't. Yeah, I just don't remember enough of the little details right now. So
yeah, this is all stuff that legitimately will not be answered until 3 minutes, the penultimate episode of season 2. So, but I really do like
Walter is just thrown away.
Oh man. So upsetting. We're so close to the end of you calling him Walter.
I'll always call him Walter.
I know, but we're just not going to talk about him anymore.
I know, not as much. Yeah, definitely.
But I also love the use of Danielle Rousseau in this episode, where She is the guide to these specific places. She talks about the Black Rock, and it's like, I'll
Mm-hmm.
take you to the Black Rock where I got all the dynamite. I'll take you here. I'll take you there. And I love when she talks about like, this is as far as I'll take you. You know, any farther, that's where Monton lost his arm. And the artist is like, all right, well, be very careful with the dynamite. And Jack's like, what do you mean be very careful with the dynamite? I thought you came to help us. He's like, yeah, I came to help you before we talked about Monton losing his arm.
He is such a oh my god. When he says
He's
to Hurley, or when they're going back and forth about his name,
mm,
and he's like, ninth graders get it right all the time. And he's like, well, can't I just call you by your first name? He's like, no, you can't. Like, why you gotta be a douche? Why you gotta be a
Leslie's a
douche?
bitchin' name.
Yeah. It's so funny though.
First of all, there's no way those ninth graders are not calling him Dr. Farst.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's no way.
I kind of think he deserved what he got, just a little bit.
Just a little bit, you know. Don't be a dick.
Yeah, no, but just a little.
Yeah. Like, you know, I obviously don't want anybody to blow up, obviously. But, like, this guy, he deserves it.
If there was a person that did on accident, I mean,
yeah. It's one of the funniest scenes in Lost, I think.
it is. It really is a funny scene, yes.
I also love that it is immediately after the whole conversation that he has with Hurley, where he's like, you know, I'm sorry, I'm not cool enough to be part of your little adventuring society. You don't think I know what a clique looks like? And it's not just the students, it's the teachers too. Gym teachers are the worst.
Yeah.
Like, and knowing the history of Damon Lindelof, basing this off a real science teacher that he had, it just makes it all the funnier.
That is great. That is great. But yeah, no, but I want to get back to Danielle because I think this is part of her plan is to get the strongest, well, two of the strongest people, Kate and Jack, away from the group.
And Locke.
So yeah, right, and Locke. Yes. Oh yeah, no, you're right. Absolutely Locke. So she is doing this the right way. But I don't know how they actually let her leave and go back. I really don't understand how they're like, yeah, that's okay, just go back.
I think it's just one of those things where she is she's one of the few people who will say no to Jack. Because she's like, I didn't crash on your plane, and I have survived here for 16 years.
Mm-hmm.
I don't need you. And I think Jack even tells her once they arrive at the Black Rock, he's like, hey, you know, you should stay. And she's like, I absolutely will not. Which, the cardio, by the way, on Danielle Rousseau, like, it seems to take, like, hours for them to get to the Black Rock. She gets back to the beach like that. Like, she books it back.
She is on top of that baby real fast.
Real fast.
Yeah. And she beelines it for Claire. She came back through the woods. She didn't come, or she came back and snuck through because even Saeed didn't see her come back.
Yeah.
And you know he's going to be on high alert at that point.
Well, you know, he had just done the whole raft thing. Saeed has that really cute moment with Shannon where she's bringing all Boone stuff. And he's like, I will carry it for you. And it's like, oh, Saeed.
The Jin and Sun scene too, man, is so great. It's so great. I love them too.
Yeah, the dictionary, not dictionary, the little translation guide she makes.
The phonetic, yeah.
So, like, what an amazing part of Love. And we talked about this in the last episode, but it gets me every time where he explains why he's actually going. And it's like, I'm not going because you kept this secret from me and I'm mad at you. I'm mad at myself because I let it get to this point. And, like, I got to find redemption out there for both of us. And I'm so sorry. I love you so much. And it's like, oh, my God, these two. What a journey we've had with these two. What a journey we've had with all of them.
Yeah.
So great stuff. Great stuff. You know, let's just go back to the Black Rock expedition crew. A
Okay.
great crew.
Okay.
We gotta keep this. If we just keep going scene by scene, we're gonna, or not scene by scene, scene to scene. We'll be here till the Lost reunion, and I don't even know when that
Exactly.
is. Even though
I've
we,
heard things about that. I think you said something to me, didn't you? There's something coming back for
there's
Lost.
a documentary on the making of
Oh, okay.
Lost
Okay.
coming, which
Gotcha.
makes sense because I didn't realize this, but next year's the 20-year anniversary of Lost.
Wow.
Yeah,
Yeah. Wow.
yeah. I'm gonna have a baby next time I watch Lost. It's gonna be crazy. Anyway, I'm getting so age.
It sucks, dude. Don't get old, man. I'm telling you.
It sucks, man. I'm not happy about it. What are
Freeze
you gonna?
yourself like Disney while you can, man.
All right, let's stick with the Black Rock crew.
Yes.
Some really great stuff from them while they're trudging through the jungle. Not so much on their way to the Black Rock, except for the really funny after Arst leaves, and then he comes back immediately running through the jungle. Is like,
Mhm.
I'm running away.
Yeah.
And listeners at home, you may think, Dave, that's not what he sounded like. I challenge you. Go back and listen to Dr. Arst run. I did it spot on.
It was pretty close. It was
Yeah.
pretty close. Run, run, everybody, run, run.
We'll get to it next season. Bernard, another funny runner.
Fair enough.
But Dr. Arst, I think there is some great stuff where they're where Dr. Arst teaches them how to remove the dynamite safely, and then, like we talked to it, explodes.
Mm-hmm.
And then I also think, what do you think of Jack's decision to be the one carrying the dynamite?
It's Jack having to be the hero, as always, in my opinion. I mean, yeah, that's just who he is.
It's who he is, but I gotta say, what an irresponsible decision.
Well, yeah,
Like, you're the doctor.
right.
And I also really like the Locke saying, four should blow the hatch clean open. We'll bring 8 just in case. And I think it's Harley who says, in case of what? And Jack's like, in case one of us blows up. It's like, oh.
Yeah, the fail safe,
Yeah.
as Locke says.
I really love all of that stuff because this is the building blocks for next season and really the rest of the series, where it kind of shifts from being Jack versus Sawyer to Jack versus Locke.
Yes.
And the episode even kind of ends with Jack telling Kate, we're gonna have a Locke problem.
Yeah, he does. That is right. Well, he's already said at one point we have to kill John Locke, but that was after the Boone thing. But they've already somewhat set up that dynamic that they're going to be fighting each other. But yeah, this one really. But I love when Locke messes with Jack with the dynamite.
You ever play Operation?
Yeah. He's like, bzz. I was like, oh my god, I forgot about that joke. And I was like, that is so great.
There's so much in this season that makes me look back and say, has John Locke seen Lost? And he knows that he can't die. Because he's acting like especially in like the last 5 episodes.
Mm-hmm.
This man's acting like a crazy person.
Yeah, he does a few, yeah.
What's he doing?
Here's the funniest part about it is he does that after they watch Arse blow up.
Yeah.
It's not before. It's after. It's like, dude, you got some huge balls, man.
And it's like he knows he's a candidate and he can't die.
Yeah, but he doesn't know anything yet, right?
I know, and that's crazy.
That's what I'm saying. He doesn't know anything yet.
But he has a great moment later where I think he defines why he's doing what he's doing, which is that he was being tested. comes right after the monster attack, where he's like, "Yes, Jack,
I
I was
just
being
still don't.
tested."
I don't buy that whole story. I think that's just in his head.
No,
I
it.
feel like it is, at least.
Oh, it definitely is.
Okay.
If the monster was a now the question becomes, could the monster have actually killed him? Like, no, he was just trying to scare him at that point.
Like, see, the way I always remember taking Locke, especially in this season, was that he was making up for his walkabout,
Mm-hmm.
obviously, and he was just creating this, like, you know, fantasy, basically, almost like never ending story, like, just
Yeah,
creating this story in his head of, like, I'm so special, that's why I'm here.
yeah, I agree with that, and I pulled up the quote, the whole
Okay.
exchange between Locke and Jack, and it starts with Locke saying, "This is right after the smoke monster tries to drag him off." Which, by the way, uh,
Mm.
you can go to Hawaii on the Lost tour, and you can have your picture taken uh, in that way, in that hole where like Locke is getting sucked into, and like someone can be pulling you up. If I ever go to
Oh, wow.
Hawaii, me and my wife are taking that photo.
Yeah, I want to do that too, for sure.
Yeah, that's how we'll commemorate this being finished. We'll go to Hawaii, do the Lost tour.
I'm down. Let's
I,
go. I'd love to
uh,
go to Hawaii.
oh, me too. Damn, I'll have to bring my dumb kid. Anyway,
Forget
anyway, so it starts off with Locke
to love
saying,
it.
"I believe I was being tested." Jack says, "Tested." Locke says, "Yeah, tested. I think I was why I was doing. I don't see eye to eye on something, Jack, because you're a man of science." And then Jack says, "And what does that make you?" It says, "I'm a man of faith." And then they bicker for a little bit, and then Boone said, Locke will say the infamous line, "Boone was the sacrifice the island demanded, and now my destiny is getting into that hatch." And Jack says, "No, we're opening that hatch so we can survive." And Locke just responds, "Survive is all relative, Jack." And I think that's so much. Locke doesn't want to. He's got his legs back, and he is, at this point, he believes he is on some kind of divine mission from
Yeah.
some power, the island. And he
Yes.
no longer is content just surviving. He wants to thrive and create something. So it is interesting that we first get, and we get the famous, what will become kind of the thesis for the show, man of science versus man of faith.
Mm. Yeah.
Which I think the show ultimately comes down on, you got to have a little of both, you know. Ultimate faith is often not rewarded on Lost. Like John Locke has ultimate faith, he gets killed.
Sure.
Several people only believe in science, they get killed. Jack, the whole arc of Jack is going from a man of complete science and no belief to a man of complete faith.
Hmm.
And
Yeah.
Jack dies because of it. And this is kind of where that mission statement starts. Not mission statement, but this is where the thesis statement for all of Lost is kind of said.
No, it makes sense. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Wow. I'm just curious because I remember always being under the impression, or at least hearing that they knew what the story was. So I'm wondering how much they knew
They
where
didn't
they were
know.
going at this point, or if they even had an idea of where they were going at this point.
It is widely known at this point that they didn't
Okay.
know.
Okay.
They
Fair
like to
enough.
say we never asked a question that we didn't know the answer to. That was their mantra in
Hmm.
season 1.
I've heard you say that before. Yeah. Yeah.
Where, they didn't shoot. J.J. Abrams famously wanted to put the hatch as the last shot in the pilot. That was going to be the final thing that we leave on, is just a close up of the hatch, and we're not sure what it is. But everyone scrapped, or Damon Lindelof scrapped that because he was like, we don't know what's in there. And it only gets revealed when Damon Lindelof comes into the writer's room and says, there's a guy down there, and he's got to push a button every 108 minutes. And they're like, all right, good enough for me. So they put it in the episode. I think at this
It's
point,
It's
they
weird because I think it's well done. I
so
think
do
they
I.
pulled it off
Uh,
for not knowing what the hell they were going to do with the hatch, and for I think they pulled it off.
well, I think that will be we'll get to that when we get to season
Sure.
2, but I think season 2 is actually the weakest season because I don't think they did know. And I
Okay.
think they
Okay.
really fumbled the bag. And me and Ben used to talk about this all the time. And
I'd be interested for
he
sure.
was
Yeah,
on the
no,
other
I'm
side
interested.
of it. But anyway, but they didn't know exactly where they wanted to go with everything
Okay.
because at this point, they're just making TV, and in 2004, TV shows really it wasn't like today where they walk into Netflix and they say we got a 4-season arc that we want
Mm-hmm.
to do.
Mm-hmm.
This was you make TV until we tell you to stop making TV. And in Lost case, it was you make TV until you beg us to stop letting you make TV. Um, so I don't think they knew exactly where they wanted to go. I do think that they knew they wanted to set up John Locke as a secondary antagonist for next season,
Yeah.
and
Well,
setting
for
him
sure.
against Jack, especially this diametrically. I think they knew that. I don't think they did not have like everything figured out. Famously, I don't
Do
think
you think
they.
they even knew that Sawyer and Michael were coming back and Jin
I think they did. They
at
knew
this
they were
point?
coming
Okay.
back. I think there's too much unresolved with Jin, especially.
Oh, sure. Yeah, definitely.
That I don't feel like Jin is the person on the island, and Michael too, where his son got taken, and like
Mm-hmm.
we need at least someone, and it ended up nobody dying, but at least one person from the raft had to make it off because someone needed to say they took the boy, and at this point they do know that the tailies are going to come into next season. We haven't even talked about it yet. Michelle Rodriguez is in this episode. Anna Lucia,
Mm-hmm.
crazy appearance.
Yep. Yep.
I remember when I blew Ben's mind when we first talked about Lost and we talked about Michelle Rodriguez, and he was like, "Did she die so that she could go make Fast and Furious 1?" And I was like, "Ben, I'm gonna blow your mind. There had been 4 Fast and Furiouses at this point." And he was like, "No, there hadn't. There's no way." I was like, "Yeah, she had been in several Fast and Furiouses already."
Wow. In 2003, there were already 4?
Well, this is 2005.
Well, okay, so 2005.
I don't think there were 4, but like 1, 2, and Tokyo Drift definitely already had happened.
Wow. God, those movies have been around way too long.
Yeah, I know, right? They went to
I mean,
space in the last one.
oh my God. I
I
mean, they're
love.
stupid fun. Don't get me wrong. I
Oh, I
love them,
love them.
but they're so bad.
So bad they're
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I think they knew that the raft people were gonna meet up with the tailies. I think that's what they knew.
Okay. Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. That is interesting too, though, that they find them.
So you know what? Let's just we're talking about everything. We're just having fun. We're playing
Yeah.
jazz here. Michelle Rodriguez,
Yep.
notable. I know you binged Lost,
Oh, yeah.
or not binged Lost, but you watched it after the fact, and
Yes.
as
Right.
did I, and as did most people I know. So you obviously you knew who Michelle Rodriguez was before you watched Lost. Did you know
Yes.
she was in it, and were you surprised when she showed up asking for a vodka tonic?
Yeah. No, I did not know she was in it. And yeah, I was very surprised. Absolutely. Um, Yeah, I really like that scene because it sets up, at least we think for that moment that they're going to hook up at some point. And then once we get to season 2, we know she is there on the island and there's a
Mm-hmm.
chance for that, which there is a moment of that, but
Yeah.
that's cut short pretty quick. Um, so, yeah, no, I did not know, though, that she was going to be in Lost when I was first watching it. I was surprised. I love that conversation, though, they had because she's just like, no, I'm hitting on you, man. Like, she's pretty much like, no, I'm hitting on you.
Really great. So I love
Yeah.
such a strong introduction to Michelle Rodriguez and
Yes.
Anna Lucia.
And perfect for her personality because she's that type of personality. She's a
Mm-hmm.
strong, So yeah, I love that introduction for her.
Yeah, weirdly, Michelle Rodriguez is like one of the only people who does not have the Lost stink on them for me. where whenever I say, and that sounded derogatory, but I say it out of love, where like I watch Ant-Man and the Wasp, and I'm
Mhm.
like, what are Ant-Man and Kate from Lost gonna do? Michelle Rodriguez, though, I'm just like, it's her character, as that's Ana Lucia. Like
Oh, for sure.
she, and I think also though every movie she's in, just for whatever reason, maybe it's just that she was only in one season, but she totally escapes the Lost Snake, but she is so great. Now, just I know we're running long, and we
Oh,
haven't
that's
even
fine.
talked about Sawyer or Charlie and Saeed running through the jungle,
Oh yeah,
or Walt getting taken. Oh my god, we got so much. Or
Walter.
the hatch getting blown up. We got so much to talk
Walter.
about. Jesus Christ. Uh, maybe this is a bad
It's
time.
okay.
Ana Lucia offers to switch with Jack. It's like, we could switch seats.
That is
So there
interesting.
is a universe out there where Jack is the leader of the Tailies, and Ana Lucia is the leader of the main Losties that we know. Just
Okay.
what do you think that looks like if day one crash happens?
Mm-hmm.
Ana Lucia runs out of the jungle after getting woken up by Vincent.
Uh-huh.
What does that look like?
They've already built a city on that beach. They have a city and a full on like society moving. It's like a rise of empires. She would just with that many people behind her, yeah, she would destroy.
Ethan gets sniffed out immediately.
Immediately. She would immediately walk up to him and be like, I don't think you belong here. What are
Well,
you
to be
doing?
fair, she really fell for Goodwin.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
But I do
That is
think
fair.
Ethan's less subtle than Goodwin.
And for sure, the others, I think the tailies would probably not have survived because he doesn't have as strong as a crew over there that he would have had.
I think Jack,
Unfortunately,
just on an emotional level, I don't think Jack's surviving over there.
no,
Where
yeah,
like
no,
I don't think that Jack could deal with a Mr. Echo from day one.
right,
And to be fair, I think the moment the inhaler situation happens, there's not a conversation about are we going to torture Sawyer. There's a conversation about who gets to torture Sawyer.
yeah, oh, for sure,
She's
yeah,
like,
yeah,
or Sawyer and her are like best friends.
no, or she just puts one in his head and takes his
That's
stuff. Like
also. Oh, you know what? Yeah, the
that's
moment
just
he executes the marshal, like she's killing him.
yeah,
Like Ana Lucia martial law day one. Yep.
absolutely.
It's a lot
But she builds a civilization. She does do that.
with whoever. It's a lot leaner of a cast because
Sure.
I feel she's also fed up with John Locke's bullshit way quicker.
She would have had Saeed tear that entire plane apart piece by piece, and they would have had a metal building somehow, some way in the middle of that island. I'm telling you.
They built Sawyer's Walmart.
Right. There, see?
Oh, that's
funny.
great.
That
Now I'm
is so
picturing
funny.
Sawyer with like one of those blue vests.
Well, if they would have went to the nose, she would have drugged that thing back to the beach.
Yeah, you know what? I think Greg Grunberg probably still alive if Ana Lucia is on that side of the plane.
Yep.
Uh,
And smoke monster wouldn't have been a problem either.
not a problem.
That's funny.
Oh Jesus! All right, we're that's enough. Ana Lucia has like 2 minutes.
She
of
is
screen
though a
time.
great character in Law. She really is a great character.
Really
in
great,
Lost.
and I think that's gonna be.
Yeah.
She is gonna be when we get to her next season. She's gonna be a really interesting piece to dissect because I know she's a very controversial character, but I like her.
Yeah, she makes some questionable decisions, but what are you
Yeah.
gonna do? What are you gonna do?
You know,
You're on an island.
who doesn't stalk and execute in cold blood the man that shot her? Them. Who wouldn't?
Half dozen here, six there, same thing.
It happens. All right. Where do you want to go next?
Yeah, no, let's do the Saeed and Charlie's. Let's
Charlie
talk about them. Yeah.
punches. We talked about this last week.
Yes.
When he
Which
punches
It's
him in the face.
funny, man. It's funny.
Do not hit me again.
And Charlie immediately is like, "Yeah, okay, I got you."
He's like, you know what? I've hit you once, and that was twice too many.
Yes. It's funny because you just see him kind of curl. He's like, yeah, no. I'm going to curl back into my hole now."
Yeah. I think next, has it happened? Has Sawyer and Charlie had their dust up yet, or does that happen in season 2?
I don't remember them having one yet.
So yeah, no, there's
I don't think so. Yeah, I don't think so then yet.
yeah, no, Sawyer, yeah, he punches Charlie at some point, and Charlie's like, "You hit like a ponce."
Yeah, no, I think
No,
that's
that's season 2,
I think
or
so.
maybe season 3, because Charlie's busy trying to drown babies in season 2.
We don't talk about that, sir.
We're gonna have to in
we don't talk about
in like 8 weeks.
I know. We don't talk about that.
But I really love that Charlie immediately, man of action, is like, we're going right now. And Saeed immediately is like, yeah, Danielle stole the baby, and this is kind of my fault because I invited her into our group. Also, Locke's gone, Jack's gone, Sawyer's gone, Kate's gone. I guess I'm the only authority figure here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll go. I love all of that stuff. And I also love the speech he gives to Charlie when he gives Charlie the gun. It's like, we are not going out there for revenge. We are going to get Rousseau. We are going to get the baby back.
And then they just pop out of the woods on him. Son and Claire. Is it Son that's with her? Was it Son? No, I don't think it was Son.
I don't remember exactly who's with them, but she sends somebody away.
Yeah.
It's either it might be Charlie that she sends away. Oh, you know what? No, she runs. Yeah, it is Charlie. She runs out of the bushes saying she needs to talk to Saeed, and Charlie goes and gets Saeed.
Yes, right. Yes, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. And then
no, I thought we were talking about once Saeed and Charlie are gone.
Sorry.
Claire shows up right after he gives him the gun.
That's right, because she says that she's gonna go.
And he's like, "No, you're not. I got this." And she's like, "I'm going. It's my baby. Don't tell me what to do."
Which I'm like, if this was Kate's taking the gun and going. The fact that Claire is just like, "Yeah, I'll wait. It's fine." It's like, ugh.
I don't know why she doesn't trust Charlie though.
Well, she does know that he's a heroin. Well, no, she has amnesia, so she doesn't know that he's a heroin addict. Actually,
right? Yeah, that's true. Right.
But she does because of, oh my god, the character assassination that's going to happen next season. Sorry, I'm thinking of. There's a line next season.
And the moment by the plane. Oh man.
Yeah, it is. We can skip. Well, actually, before we get to the plane, there's a great moment where Saeed and Charlie trigger one of Rousseau's traps, and Charlie gets like hit up the head, and Saeed's like, "I can fix it, but it's gonna hurt like hell." And he pours. I don't know if this is a real thing, where he pours gunpowder on the wound, and then lights it.
I mean, look,
I would start doing heroin too if someone did that to me.
I don't know, man. I'm sure that's a way you can cauterize a wound, but there has to be much better ways than that.
Like a hot stick. Like you have matches. Like,
yeah, it just doesn't seem like a very smart way to do it for sure. Because there's a lot of things that go wrong with that. Not to mention that gunpowder is like all over his face. And if it catches on fire where it's at, it's going to destroy half. He's going to look like Two-Face.
Oh my god! Insane that he doesn't, right?
Yes, it's really crazy.
Like Saeed, like if we're giving out MVP points, like MVP for Sawyer or for Saeed, turns out he was a doctor this whole time. Like,
right? Yeah.
Insane what he's able to accomplish there. But then, yeah, they take a break.
Yes.
By the downed plane, which I don't understand how they got there.
Yeah, I don't really understand that either.
Because of the geography of everything. It's like, I feel like you could have just followed every time in Lost. This happens all the time where I'm like, I feel like you could have just followed the coastline to get where you're going.
Yeah.
But you always cut through the forest. And they stop by the plane. And Saeed's like, they were heroin traffickers. And Charlie's like, oh, heroin.
It's just there's a weird moment where Saeed is just kind of standing with like his hands on his hips and he just throws the little the thing at his feet. Like he's just like nonchalant because he doesn't know. And so he's just like do. And then he's like, okay, let's go. And Charlie is just like, oh, what a
It
fuck.
is one of those weird things that, like, this happened last episode too, where everyone found out that Kate was the fugitive, where you remember that we have more information than the characters do.
Yes, right. Oh yeah.
And it is incredibly weird. And I'm like, ooh, Charlie, I feel like at some point you should have just said, I'm a heroin. I'm recovering heroin addict. Like, you've been clean for almost a month now. Like, you know, you can talk about it.
Yeah, but I still feel like Charlie felt like he had to get clean for the reason that he knew he was going to run out no matter what.
Yeah.
And now when there's an abundance of it in front of him, he's just like, oh, maybe I can pull this off.
My biggest problem with all of this is I feel like it doesn't go anywhere that matters.
Okay.
Like, what is the big payoff to Charlie relapsing? And to be fair, and we can talk, this will be a big talking point in season 2. I'm actually not sure that Charlie ever does start using again. Like,
No.
he has trippy dreams, but like so does 75% of the cast.
Well, she catches him with it. He has one of the statues, but I don't think we ever actually see him use again.
No, and Charlie says this exact thing where he says, how could I have gotten the heroin out? It was in a sealed Virgin Mary statue.
That's true.
Because that's right after Echo smashes it. That's how it gets found out. So now, to be fair, he could be. It is shown that he has up to 12 Virgin Mary statues. I think we find out. Like, he's got a bunch. He's got a buttload of heroin Marys.
Oh, he's having debates about it. That's for sure in his head.
Yeah, but I'm just like, I don't think he ever. So, what is the big payoff to Charlie, to heroin getting reintroduced here?
Right.
I honestly don't see the point, except to really just tank Charlie's character next season.
Yeah, that doesn't. I think you're right. It doesn't make sense to get him clean just to have him relapse again, especially in this way.
Yeah, and I know, and we'll talk about this in season 2, that they were trying to play with like what happens when you bring temptations from the modern world into Lost and stuff. And it's like,
yeah,
but why did we spent so long getting this character clean, and nothing really comes of it.
But I mean, if you know anything about an addict like that, if they're put in front of that much abundance of that, they're gonna go crazy and just overdose. And
I agree. I think it makes sense what happens with Charlie. I just, from a structural point, I don't know why he does it.
Yeah. No, I agree with you on that part.
Sorry, why they do it, not why Charlie does it. Again, I understand why Charlie does it. I don't understand why the show chooses to reintroduce heroin in this way.
Because we need Mr. Echo. At this point. Is Mr. Echo even a character yet? At this point, he can't be yet.
No, no, and funnily enough, in a couple episodes, there'll be a character who looks like Mr. Echo, but is not Mr. Echo.
Who's that? I don't remember that person.
No, he's just like in like the second episode of season 2. There's like a scene where the famous scene where Jin comes running out of the woods and it's like others, and then we see like all the people, and it's like those are not the tailies that we know. Like there's a guy who like kind of looks like Bernard, but is like not Bernard.
Is it the end like scene of an episode? Is that what it is? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. We'll see that, but like
I think I know exactly what you're talking about because I remember Jin running out screaming others. I do remember that.
Yeah, but yeah, in that scene, it's like that's not Mr. Echo, that's not Bernard, that's not Cindy, and then in the next episode, it's like, were those just their stand-ins or
they're stunt doubles?
Yeah,
they had to run. Stunt doubles.
Um. Anyway. Uh. And then the confrontation, just to close out the Charlie and Saeed stuff,
Yeah.
the the confrontation between Danielle, Charlie, and Saeed, where Saeed is very calmly talking Danielle down, like, give me the baby,
Hmm.
and Charlie's yelling, like, you're pathetic. You're the worst. You've never made you're probably a drug addict and your band washed out. It's like, oof, we got some projecting going on, Charlie.
A little bit. A little bit. A little
Um,
bit.
what do you think about that last scene?
Oh, it's fun because of course Charlie's going to lose it right there, and Saeed's just trying to calm everything down. But what are you going to do? He just stole Claire's baby. There's no way to calm Charlie down in that. And
Yeah,
that
with
the only reason he doesn't shoot her, in my opinion, is because the baby.
mm-hmm.
Don't you think?
No, I think, and we had a whole episode dealing with this. I don't think Charlie killed Ethan, but Charlie is not a killer.
Oh no, I don't think he's a killer, but I mean, he's shown that he's willing to protect Claire and the baby, like,
Yeah.
and he'll do anything to do that.
Yeah, it is kind of insane that we're gonna continue to hang out with Danielle Rousseau as if she didn't steal a baby.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, but I really do love that final tense send off. And Charlie says what I've theorized, which is she set the black smoke herself. Which if she didn't, I'm a little confused because it's like,
I think that makes the most sense. I think it does. I think this is her. That was her elaborate plan.
Yeah, her plan was steal baby, give baby, get Alex back.
Right.
It's like, I don't think that's gonna work, Danielle.
Yeah, it's not going to work.
No.
The only thing that happens is the others get another baby. What are they going to do? Bring Alex to meet her? They're not going to do that. Ben knows
Yeah,
what's
it's like,
going on.
this is Alex, and here's
Yeah, Ben's
it's
never
like,
going to do that.
this is Alex, and it's like Miss Clue.
Yeah. He just the only thing that Ben would do just to be a manipulative human that he would send Alex under the strict rule she can't say who she is to get the baby from Russo.
I don't think he would do that. He loves.
Oh,
it.
he's a sadistic. He's a
Yeah, but like,
sadistic.
it's a messed up love, but he loves, and we'll get into this next.
No, he
season,
does love her. No, he
but
does.
he loves Alex, and I don't think he would put her in harm's way, unless someone literally has a gun to her head. Then he'll put her in hella harm's way.
Oh yeah, right.
He could have saved her.
Yeah, he could have. Yeah.
But also, the baby gets named. That's little baby Aaron now. That's exciting.
It's true. That is true.
It's not Turnip Head no more. He has the name.
I love when he's trying to give her the blue blanket thing, the shoulder strap thing.
Yeah.
He's like, it's a little turnip head carrier, or whatever he says.
I also love that there was no like build up to and this is how 90% of names end up happening for kids, but like no build up. Like Claire wasn't thinking about it. There wasn't like, oh, what should I name the baby?
Mm-hmm.
Like none of that. It just like the Aaron gets taken and she runs up and is like, save him, Charlie, save Aaron. And it's like, oh, but I liked Turnip Head as a name. Turnip Head Littleton.
Littleton. Turnip Head Littleton. That's
Yeah.
his last name, Charlie Littleton. Oh, that's
No,
right.
his last name's Pace. Her last name's Littleton.
Oh, her last name is Littleton. Okay.
Yeah.
Turnip Head Littleton. That's funny. That is so funny. I think just because he was in Lord of the Rings, he should got a little pull on that and kept the name Turnip Head until at least next season. Just a little bit more.
Just a little pull.
They can't officially name him until next season.
No. All right. Where do you want to go next? We got a couple other things.
What do we have left? The hatch. Yeah.
You know what? Before we talk hatch, I want to talk about some standout flashback moments.
Okay. Yeah.
I really love both Michael and Walt scenes. First, the scene where Michael is like, we know because we've seen Special how much Michael fought to get Walt, but now that he hasn't had him for 6-7 years, whatever it is, he's like trying to pawn him off on
Yeah.
his mom, essentially.
That's a tough scene too because
Mhm.
it's such a tough scene.
And it really is, and it is hard to watch, especially once you know everything Michael's gone through, and now he is legitimately worried that like he can't be a good dad because that's all the courts, Susan, everyone has told him.
Right.
So it is interesting to see that. And then I also really like the scene in the hotel where Walt's watching Power Rangers, and then he tries to run away
Oh,
with Vincent.
yeah.
It's like, yeah, I love the juxtaposition of, because that is the flashback scene that leads us into Walt getting kidnapped. Where Walt, the final line of the flashback is, "You're not my dad. You're not my father." Blah blah blah. Blah. And then
Yeah.
as he's getting taken off the boat, he is yelling, "Dad, dad, dad!"
Yeah.
And it's just what fantastic and heartbreaking stuff where we get to see how far these two characters have progressed from when they
Mhm.
first landed on the island.
Oh, for sure. Oh, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
A couple other fantastic. I love John Locke having to get carried onto the plane,
Yeah.
because I think that really shows him at the low point he was at,
Hmm.
to and why he was so gung ho at the beginning to prove himself. And the last one is actually an unused flashback, where I teased this a little bit before the show, but there was
Yes.
a flashback completely filmed, written, filmed, everything for a character in the show. And then, but news of it being included in the final episode got leaked to the press. So, because it was leaked, they decided to not have it in the episode because the surprise factor was most of what they wanted. Can you
Okay.
guess what character's flashback was excluded from this scene, from this episode?
Trying to think who didn't have a flashback. I think even he had one. Yeah. Um. I'm gonna guess Hurley.
Hurley has one, and
Yeah,
his
I know he
whole
does, but
no, it is Vincent the dog.
oh really? No
There
way.
was a whole flashback filmed, edited, everything of Vincent and his misadventures on getting onto 815 and having to be in the baggage claim. And they were like, this will be a fun little act break with all the seriousness and tension. We'll have Vincent's misadventures. But then word of that got out to the press. So they were like, you know what? You don't get it anymore. And they have never released it. And
Oh, that's BS.
According to Damon Lindelof, they have deleted every second of footage from Vincent's day out, as they call it. It
That's not right.
they're like, it got leaked to the press. This is the price of leaking.
That is the most salty, childish move you can pull.
To be fair, he was like 26. It happens. But
That's yeah.
the press has got to be tolerant, and that's why we have two Michael and Walt flashbacks.
Okay.
Because one of them, I believe, the one of Michael calling his mom, was
Yes.
supposed to be Vincent's misadventures.
Well, that if that is the case, that is even worse for me then, because then they just added in a scene where Michael, in front of his son, says he's not my kid,
Yeah.
or I don't want him, or whatever, however he says it. That is what you went with instead of a dog running around having a little bit of fun.
I,
You
uh,
sons of bees.
allegedly, it was 3.5 minutes of Vincent dealing with TSA agents.
Oh, see, I would have
I don't
rather had
believe
that.
this. Falling in love with a bomb sniffing dog. I don't believe that, but that's funny.
That's hilarious if it did happen.
Um,
Yes.
and his experience of getting on 815.
Okay.
Yeah.
I
So
would have much rather got that than I don't want to be his father now after I fought for him for however long.
And I think the hotel scene is just so powerful.
Yeah, no, it is a great scene.
Yeah.
It is.
So we're at an hour and a half mark. We got two big things to
And
wrap
look, it's
up.
3 episodes, man. I mean,
It's
come
three
on.
episodes.
Yeah,
Hey,
what are we
you
gonna
and
do?
Ben famously once did 3 episodes in 30 minutes. So
I don't know how we did that. I don't even remember doing
you
that.
didn't
That's
have
so
my
funny.
behind the scenes notes.
Well, that's true, but still.
Um, did you want to do Walt getting kidnapped or the hatch blowing up?
Let's do Walt and finish with the hatch because that's the
Okay,
end. Yeah, yeah, let's do that.
so Walt gets kidnapped,
Yeah, well, yeah, yeah.
and it's kind of Michael's fault.
I think it's Sawyer's fault.
I
And
think it's
I'm not
everyone's
saying
fault.
he's wrong. That's the thing. I don't think he's wrong for saying, no, we have a chance, throw the flare up. But it is ultimately him that makes Michael do it in that moment. And here's my other question about that. They've only been floating for a few hours. They cannot possibly believe that they're far enough away from the island that they're in
Well,
shipping lanes yet.
well, to be fair, they don't know where they are. So
No, I mean, yeah.
as
But
far
they
as they
have to
know,
still be able to see the island. They can't be 25 miles away from the island in that
I
short
don't
of
know,
amount.
man. You ever been stuck in a current? Like it'll
Yeah,
take you.
well, no, not. I mean, no. So, I mean, not like that at least. But
Like I once got real drunk in one of those big party tubes with me and a couple friends, and the current took us, and suddenly you look an hour later, you look up and you're like, are we in a different province?
it's fair. I mean, I'm not saying it's impossible. I'm just saying I don't know. It feels like they're still too close, especially when you see a little boat like that coming at you. Like you have to know that's too small of a boat to be out in the middle of the ocean.
Yeah, you think back to the famous New Hope line. No craft that small would be out in deep space like this.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, like as far as they know, they're just off the coast of Fiji.
Well, that's fair too. That's
Like
fair.
they have no context for where they are or what
Yeah.
they're doing. So
It's true. It's just weird. I don't know. It's just I don't know if I would have pulled. I would have waited a few days before I even
a few
considered.
days, man. How much
Or
food
at
do you
least
think they have there?
I don't know. I mean, I'm just saying I would have waited a little longer than a couple hours to even start. I wouldn't even turn that radar on for the first 10 to 12 hours. I would have wanted to get as far away as possible before
I think as
started.
soon as I can't see the island, I'm doing
Okay, that's okay. Maybe yeah, that's fair.
But they've got the wind on their sails. According to Arst, it's monsoon season.
So they're in Antarctica at this point. That's what we know. What we know is they're halfway to Antarctica.
Yeah. So can we talk about what were your feelings when the boat first showed up? Because I remember thinking, maybe I was just like so in the moment. I was like, man, they did it. They got off the island. They got saved.
I did. Yeah, I definitely did. Yeah, when that light comes on, I thought it was like the Coast Guard or something. That's what I thought, for sure.
And when Tom Friendly starts talking, he's like, hey, where you came from an island? Oh my God.
Yeah.
And it's so exciting. You're like, oh my God, what is the show going to be now that these guys got saved? Oh my God. And it's not till you said, the thing is, we're going to be taking the boy.
Oh, that's one of the creepiest ways to say it, too. He's so creepy. Just in that moment.
Yeah. It's not till then that you realize what terrible things what a terrible situation they're in.
Mm-hmm.
But my question is, so because of Danielle, we know they were coming for the boy. Yeah. Because they never did come for Aaron. You have to imagine the plan was get Walt. So they were just out there in their little tugboat, like waiting. What was their plan?
I don't know what they were doing, but here's my other question: is why did he send them out in the makeup and beard and everything?
Well, I think that's just Ben. Like
Is
Ben
that
does
just
it.
how they go out when they interact with anybody that's not, you know,
Yeah.
them?
In at the end of season 2, Tom's not wearing his beard when
Yes.
Ben gets revealed as the leader of the others, and he's like, "Why aren't you wearing your beard?" So I think that's just like he's
He,
read
like,
too many comics
he
thing where
likes
he's
them
like
better with his beard.
theatricality and deception.
Yeah. No, it's funny. It's funny.
Yeah. I
Um,
yeah.
I just what. Here's my other question. Okay, that bomb that that girl throws onto the raft
Yeah.
is very low tech for what they have going on in the others' camp. It's a little low tech in
It's a
mine, and then
little
maybe it's the illusion with the wearing the beard and all that. It's just the illusion of.
I don't actually think it's that low tech because you got to remember the others for the most part have 70s era technology.
Yeah. Okay.
Like
Okay.
most of their stuff is from the DI.
But Ben has contact with the outside world.
He
He
has
can get stuff
contact.
in.
He gets stuff, but I think the majority of their like they don't have like drones or anything on the island,
Oh no,
right?
no. I just mean I would think they would have like at least like an actual regular grenade or something like like just something simple like
I
that they
think
would have by that point.
it was like a pipe bomb,
It was
a
like a
little
jug with
rudimentary.
another jug like attached to it with liquids in it. It was like one of those weird like
Was it?
yeah. Oh yeah.
I every time I've looked at it, I'm just like that's a bomb.
It looks like one of those it looks like one of those that you see in like the hospital with the handle that the people put on the side of the beds for
Yeah, yeah.
it looks like one of those with a littler bottle attached to it. That's what it looked like to me. It's like it's very
Okay.
it was very do you remember Die Hard with a Vengeance?
Yeah.
Like how the liquids mix together and that's what I felt. I was like she just threw like a milk jug at him basically. It's what it looked like from my perspective.
I don't see
It's
what
just
you're saying.
funny.
I just pulled it up and I'm looking at it.
Let me
That's
see. I
just a
want to see it.
grenade,
Yeah, I
my
want to
guy.
see.
I can't pull
Let
it
me
up.
see
Then
it.
your
Pull it up.
your video's gonna get flagged for
Oh
showing
yeah.
Disney Plus.
Oh, gotcha. I don't know.
Oh, you know what? No, that is just like yeah. Never mind. No, you're totally right. That was
Do you
something.
see what I mean? It just looks like a jug with another like little thing connected to it. It's weird. It's
All
like
right,
two
maybe that was
liquids.
that was just her science
I don't have a
project.
problem with it. I just thought it was fun. I think it's more of them keeping up, like you said, with that.
Appearances.
Yeah, it's appearances. Yeah, Ben
Yeah.
likes them being weird
Mhm.
for some reason.
Yeah. Uh, so a little behind the scenes for that
Okay.
is so the last scene, the last shot that we get on the raft is Michael screaming "Walt,
Hmm.
Walt" with like the water and the burning raft behind him
Hmm.
and everything. It's very emotional stuff.
It is.
So when they got into the editing bay and they had released everybody and they're like, "Go home, we're done with season 1. We'll call you if we're doing season 2." Essentially, or when we're starting to film season 2, because I think at this
Uh-huh.
point they had been picked up.
Okay.
Um,
I would imagine by then. Yeah.
yeah,
Right.
that's just the way network TV's like. The next episode's gonna shoot and gonna film and or air in like 3 months. So anyway, so when they get into the editing bay and they've sent most people home, like Evangeline Lilly's back in Canada, uh, Matthew Fox is back in LA. Everyone's like gone. They're like, did we not get the shot of Michael yelling Walt and in the water?
No way.
And they're like, no, we didn't get it. So like, all right, Harold Perrineau has not gone home yet. But we don't have a water team, so we can't get back out on the water. And Harold, uh, and this is funny knowing what happens next season, is scared of water. He does not like being on the water, hates it. So they're like, we can't even like get him to just go out and we can film it like guerrilla style. Like he was only willing to do it because we had a dive team, we had everyone there.
Okay.
So one of the ADs on set was like, I remember hearing one of my film school professors talk about what they did for, I think it's Thunderball is the James Bond movie where they go
Thunderball,
underwater.
Thunderball, yeah,
Yeah,
it's a James Bond
it's like
movie.
one of the they talked about how they filmed a scene where Bond comes out of the water. They talked about how they did it on the dock, and they did it on the dock with just him putting his head in a bucket and coming out like like that. So like, all right, we got Harold here. So how do we make it look like the raft is burning behind him? So they went to like the local Walmart or Costco or whatever the store they had there, and they bought like tiki torches and a bucket, and they essentially just had Harold Perrineau dip his head in water, made the background kind of look like it was on fire with tiki torches, filmed it facing the ocean, had Harold put his head in water for like 4 seconds, come up and start screaming Walt.
No way. I have
Yeah.
to rewatch this scene now again.
Yeah, it you can't tell. It looks
No,
great,
I couldn't tell. I'll be
but it
honest. Yeah.
is they filmed that like they
So he's just
realized
standing on a dock or like somewhere.
he's like
Yeah.
kneeling on a dock, and
Yeah.
in front of him is like just a bucket of water that he's putting his head in,
That's
waiting, and then coming out and be like, "Whoa, whoa,
that's
whoa!"
that's crazy.
Yeah, and they did that
Wow.
because originally there were supposed to be like more shots with like Josh Holloway in the background and stuff, but they were like, "We sent him home. He's not on Hawaii anymore. We
Mm,
can't film this."
damn.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, I was gonna say they did a damn good job because it doesn't look like it looks good. It looks like it's exactly what it's supposed to be. Him in the middle of the ocean
Yeah,
floating.
no, it is just him standing, and like it's there's some movies that do a terrible job. Like I always think of Baywatch, where I'm like, this was filmed in a parking lot. I don't think The Rock and Zac Efron were ever on a boat in the water,
No.
but like, it looks good what he did there. And I
Oh,
love the
that's funny.
screams and the terror in Michael's eyes, and like Sawyer is shot, Jin is in the water,
Yeah.
everything looks terrible.
Oh yeah. Our characters are in despair.
In
What's gonna
distress.
happen?
Speaking of in distress, the hatch.
Yeah, I don't know exactly what dynamite does when it blows up, but I don't think it just makes the corners and edges of something just look like waves and the middle perfectly fine. I'm pretty sure there have been a lot more devastation, but still a fun scene. I still love this scene because it's fun.
I love that. I love Hurley running, being like, after he sees the numbers on the hatch, being like, "Don't do it! Don't light it! Don't do
Yes.
it! Don't do it!"
Oh man.
And Jack tackling him and Locke lighting it regardless. It's like, Jesus, man. Every wrong decision has been made.
Yeah, I love that Hurley Smith to just kill himself for the number. Like he's literally
So
just
I'm
like,
not letting
no,
the
I'm
numbers
I'm
infect
gonna
anyone
take this
else.
one. I don't know. How, yeah, I'm surprised he makes that decision, but I'm not surprised he makes that decision at the same time,
Yeah.
knowing what we know about him. But and of course, Locke being the douche that he is, he's just like, yeah, I don't care if you're running or not. Like, I'm
This is
still
my destiny.
I'm still gonna light it. It's like, sorry.
Yeah, really fantastic stuff. And I
It
love
is.
the final shot of Jack and Locke. Iconic. I argued with Ben for a long time when this show first started with you two, where I said, I don't know how we do it, but we got to get you as Jack and Don as Locke looking down, and we just recreate that image. Because
Okay.
I think the image of them looking down the hatch is probably the most iconic image from Lost.
Oh, yeah, it's got to be one of them. Yeah,
It's so fantastic, and like we're gonna see this again a few times next season.
sure.
But
Isn't that how they open? Is that the
I
first
always
shot?
forget. It's really weird where like they do like the weird Rashomon
They
thing.
don't. No, they open in the hatch,
That's right. They open with Desmond.
and then the very next shot is the back up
Right.
the chute to them.
That's right.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
But like so fantastic. What did you think about like them Because I remember thinking they're not going to be able to open the hatch.
I don't remember thinking it was going to work the first time.
Yeah, I
I
was
didn't think it.
shocked.
Yeah, like I kind of thought that was going to be part of the cliffhanger for going into the second season was they couldn't get it open, but oh, there's some promise because it dented, or you know what I mean, something
Mhm.
like that. That's kind of what I thought might happen.
I thought if it opened, something was coming out. And the fact
Oh,
that
yeah.
when it opened, not only did it like open to a hole, but it opened to a ladder with like, because of the dynamite, a bunch of rungs missing now.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, okay, so now it's just a hole in the ground. That's crazy.
Yeah.
And we've
Which
talked
actually
about.
surprising that it came open and nothing came out, knowing this show.
I think that
Just
we were
surprising.
supposed to. Like, I've talked a
Right.
lot about. I thought they were gonna unscrew the hatch and the smoke monster was gonna come out.
Mm-hmm.
That obviously didn't happen, but other things happened.
Well, sure. Oh yeah. And what is Kate doing in this scene? What is she doing? She's
She's
just
talking about.
standing. She's not doing much.
She's complaining to Jack about
Well,
why you give me the dynamite. It's like fair. She's like, I get that she's cute, Jack, but like she is expendable. You're a doctor.
yeah, I don't. They just. I don't know. It's just one of those things where they didn't use her at all for this stuff, and it's just why'd you keep showing her? Like, just
She
don't show her
really
in that scene.
she really exists, I think, in this scene to have that conversation with Hurley, where
Mm.
her and Hurley have the conversation about he's saying the numbers and she says, "Oh, 16. Weird. The guy was in Australia was going to turn me in for $16,000." And that gets Hurley thinking about the numbers. I think that is
Yeah,
really the big point that Kate plays.
the numbers. Now we are officially to the numbers. I mean, I know we've had the numbers episode, but
Yeah, but next episode
it's
we're really going to get into the numbers.
oh. You know why I don't like the numbers anymore? Because I used to love the numbers, but I don't now, knowing that they didn't have a plan.
Yeah,
Do
and
you know what I mean? It just kind of takes away a little bit of the magic for me, I think.
see, for me, the fact that there are so many different, not interpretations, but reasons for the numbers kind of enhance it for me, if I'm being honest.
Okay, okay. That's fair.
Where I don't actually like the numbers, but I like that the numbers are significant in so many different ways.
No, well, that's what I mean. And again, I think they do a great job of tying them together because I didn't know that they weren't tied together. But I just feel like it almost, I don't know. It feels like it cheapens it for me, I guess. I don't know. I don't know. Yeah.
Hey, we're gonna have a lot of time to talk about those numbers next.
I just like to think that
Season.
people actually put the time into writing these things. And I guess I'm just too optimistic about how this actually
Well,
happens.
they put a lot of time. Like, there's a whole ARG about the numbers.
Right, but everything is what I mean is everything came afterwards, or like they were doing it
Yeah.
as they went. That's all I mean. And like if you like Lord of the Rings, like Tolkien, like he
Mhm.
wrote thousands of years of backstory to Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit
True.
that he didn't have to do all that. Like,
And I do think going forward they definitely abandon the mantra of if we don't have an answer, we're not going to introduce the question. Introduce the question.
yeah,
But I do like the idea of them opening up the hatch this season.
okay, okay,
And what a powerful like if I had to wait like 4 or 5 months for the next episode, I would be like on every message board
mm-hmm.
every day. And I went back and I was like
Oh,
the theories people had.
this show and Game of Thrones are the two shows that I am absolutely happy that I watched after they were over
Mm.
and just got to binge them. Because I don't know if I would have still been in on this show after season 2 or you know what I mean, one or even one maybe.
Oh, I would have definitely been in after season 1. Season 2 would have tested me.
Like Cobra Kai is enough, like where I'm like, give it to me all at once, and then I can't have it for 2
Yeah,
years.
I'm
I
really
hate
happy
you
that
so
Cobra Kai
much.
is ending this season.
Oh, I am too. No, I am too. But see, that's another show. They said they have a plan. They had a plan from the beginning of where they wanted
Yeah.
this to go. So,
And I think as far as like to Lost's plan, I think they always knew the final shot is Jack dying in the same place he woke up.
is that really where he dies? Is that the same place?
Yeah.
Same
Yeah, it's
exact
the
spot? Okay.
exact same place.
Okay. Okay.
Um, I think they always knew. We open with Jack waking up in the bamboo fields. We close on Jack dying in the
What,
bamboo
so
fields.
this is all in Jack's head. Everything happened in Jack's head. He
No,
never actually
no,
woke up.
Don, no, no, no,
No,
no.
no.
I won't be back for season 2 if you start saying stuff like that.
No, no, no. I'm just having fun. Um, I honestly didn't know that that was where he woke up.
Oh,
So
again.
that's interesting.
Yeah,
That is fun.
it's exciting stuff. Anything else you want to
I
say
like
about
that.
Exodus as we close in on 2 hours?
To say no, I don't think. I think we hit everything. Honestly, I don't think we missed anything.
The
I'm
only
just
thing
trying
we
to think if there's
missed,
any little things. Go ahead.
I love Jin and Sun's flashback in the airport
The
where
coffee. Yeah.
the two random racist white people who are like,
Yeah.
that's why their divorce rate is lower than ours. But I love the Hawaiian shirt guy who threatens Jin in the toilet.
Mm-hmm.
And I specifically love, that's a paper towel. It's like,
Yeah.
who are you trying to impress right now?
That was a weird conversation because at first, I don't know. I just didn't. Was he good? Was he good at his accent? I mean, like, did he pull it off? It
I'm
seemed
not
like.
Korean. I don't know.
I don't know either. I don't know. It's just weird that it was a white guy. I don't know.
based on based on Lost's track record with accents, I'm looking at you, Claire. I'm gonna assume, and I'm looking at you, Cindy, from next season, the flight attendant. I'm gonna assume it was a bad accent
Okay, fair enough. I just don't know why they didn't. I mean, why wouldn't they have a? It's not like we've seen this guy before working for. Like, I don't
because I
know.
think
It's
that's
just
the reveal is like, oh wow, Mr. Pake's like international.
internet. Yeah.
But if
Okay.
I may say, I've
Okay.
never been to Australia. I do know people who live in Australia.
Mm-hmm.
Hawaiian shirts not their thing. Who was this?
Yeah.
It's like they found a guy in Hawaii and were like, you want to be on the show?
Just some random guy on a beach.
Now
They're like,
that's
"Oh,
a
we like
paper
that shirt,
towel.
man. You want to be on a show? Bring that shirt with you."
Uh,
So wait a minute, was that Hawaii airport they shot at too?
yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
They
Okay.
always film in Hawaii.
Yeah. Okay.
I
That makes
think,
sense. Honolulu airport or whatever it is.
yeah, there's very few times that they don't film in Hawaii. Even for like the Iraq stuff, like it's all Hawaii.
Oh,
Uh,
okay. Okay.
I believe there's a scene in like season 5 where they film at Oxford whenever they talk to Daniel
Okay.
Faraday and stuff. But
Sure.
there's a scene where we go to like Charles Whitmore's house. I think Ben goes and threatens him
Uh-huh.
at his house, and that is filmed in London. And it was a big deal that Lost was filming somewhere other than Hawaii. And the reason behind that is the guy who played Charles Whitmore was in a play and couldn't come to Hawaii. So they're like, all right, we'll film this in your house.
Now, what about Penny's house?
All of that is shot at the like marina in Hawaii.
Okay. Okay.
Well, one of the Hawaii's islands. So I'm sure they have several marinas.
Well, yeah, no, I got you. Yeah, yeah. Okay. I was just curious.
Yeah.
Because I remember that some of it though, some of the flashbacks they have to be off the island, right?
Not really. Like Hawaii has like extensive stuff. There's even when we go to the Tempest, which is the like poison gas facility,
Yep.
that is straight up a left behind set from Jurassic Park 3 that filmed in Hawaii. Yeah.
Okay.
Which led a
Okay.
lot of people to believe that there were dinosaurs on the island.
Well, of
Because
course there were. I mean,
in
come on.
season 4, you see some props from Jurassic Park that someone just forgot to clean up.
Is it a dinosaur? Oh, please tell me it's dinosaur
Oh
bones.
yeah, no, you see dinosaur bones in Lost if you look closely, because straight up someone just forgot to clean up Jurassic Park 3.
That's awesome. Were
It's
they around
not
the same
awesome.
time? Were they
Huh?
around the same time?
No, and
It
that's the
was years
embarrassing
later.
thing.
Okay, it was like a long time.
Like, I don't know when Jurassic Park 3.
Yeah, I don't remember when it came
I
out.
feel like that's like 2000. It's like early 2000s, right?
I think because Jurassic Park is like 95, right?
Jurassic
93,
Park
90,
is 93.
33. Yeah, okay. So
Uh,
three might have been even before 2000.
I can't believe that. Um, I love that now. I went to IMDb and it's
I'm very curious, honestly.
yeah,
I really want to know now. It's
Jurassic
interesting.
Park 3 was 2001.
Wow. So it took them
So it
8
was
years to get three out. Wow.
yeah, and it was but for context to what we're talking about, for
Yeah.
when Lost season 5 is filming, that is a solid 6 years later, and
Yeah.
just someone didn't clean up all the props.
That's funny. That's funny. Well, that's like you can go to New Zealand and live in a hobbit hole. Well, go to the Hobbit Village. I should not
Yeah,
live in a
well,
hobbit
that's
hole,
different. That's a tour. That's like a tourist attraction. This is someone.
but you know that's just them. They didn't want to tear it down, and they were
Yeah.
like, "Here, just make money off of it
This is though
somehow."
several people being lazy.
Oh well, yeah, yeah, yeah. I got you. I got you.
Yeah.
That's funny.
All
That's
right.
funny. I did not know that. That's funny because I know the first one is um, somewhere in the Pacific, the Pacific Ocean, too, but it's not in Hawaii.
No. In the early 2000s, Hawaii was like a huge tax write-off for filming.
Ah, so it's kind of like Georgia now.
Yeah, or Vancouver.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, I think that is going to wrap it up for us tonight. We did just shy of 2 hours, man. We did pretty good then.
We can still get out of here in under 2 hours.
Right.
We got 180 seconds.
Let us know what you guys thought about this episode, though, down below. Please hit that like and subscribe button, guys. Please, we are still trying to get to 1,000, so please hit that like and subscribe button for us. And yeah, Dave, tell everybody where they can find you, man.
You can find me over at Northern Entertainment Group every Tuesday talking TV, TV news, and TV happenings on Have You Seen This? 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Come check it out. Great time. And go check out all the other great programming we have there.
Yeah, absolutely, guys. Please check out their channel. They have a lot of good stuff going on over there. The Fun with Flags, is that on there? Or is that on
No,
50
Fun with
channel?
Flags is on that channel, yeah.
Okay, yeah, I thought so. That's a really fun show too. I like that show.
Really great.
It's funny.
Really great.
Yeah. But you guys can find me on Twitter at Jedi Master Tuck. You can also find the Multiverse of Geekdom page on there, the Titans of the Turf page on Twitter. We also have Instagram. But you guys can find me here pretty much any day of the week. We are doing a lot of trailer reactions now, guys, and some gaming stuff. So please look out for that. And as usual, I'm going to talk about it. Titans of the Turf, guys. It's a new league we just started. We just did our draft last night. Please check that out. Monday, we will have our first matches. So please come check those out. We are really excited to bring this to you guys. It's really, really fun stuff. So
I'm really excited about it.
Yeah. No, we're really excited about this, man. We really think this could be big for us. So we're fingers crossed right now. But guys, thank you again for joining us at the end of this first season of Lost. Can't wait to get into the second season, and we will see you guys next time.
See ya.
I am what to do.